Liza, Liza, skies are gray, but when you smile at me, all the clouds will roll away. Liza, Liza, don't delay, come keep me company, and the clouds will roll away. See the honeymoon a-shining down, we could make a date with Parson Brown. So, Liza, Liza, name the day when you'll belong to me, the clouds will roll away.
Well, hi, I'm Jim Caruso, and welcome to a very special cast party coming to you from BroadwayWorld.com. I could not think of a better way to begin our celebration of Miss Liza Minnelli than with a song written by George and Ira Gershwin and Gus Kahn and sung by Mel Torme. Okay, now, this Liza Minnelli, she has some lineage, huh? Of course, we all know she's the daughter of Judy Garland and master filmmaker Vincent Minnelli, and her godparents were singer and arranger Kay Thompson and none other than Ira Gershwin. Just a few days ago, on March 12th, Liza celebrated a birthday, and I thought it was high time that we, here at Cast Party, celebrate her. Now, I have to tell you that very few people on this earth occupy a warmer place in my heart than Liza. We've been great friends for about 15 years. I've opened for her, I've worked with her on a daily basis, and I actually lived with her for a short time in Los Angeles. So, on her birthday, we sat down to talk like we always do, except this time, the tape was running. She's entertaining, absolutely hilarious, and, ladies and gentlemen, there was not an eyelash or a sequin to be found. Every once in a while, you're going to hear some jingling. That's her little puppy, Emelina, coming in to check on how things are going, which was very nice. And so, from high atop the music room of her New York penthouse, get ready for an all-star cast party Liza birthday celebration.
Don't delay, come keep me company, and the clouds will roll away.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Liza.
I love you, Liza. I love you too.
Sexy lady.
Happy birthday to you.
Who was
I
that?
think that says it all, doesn't it?
Who was that, Jimmy?
That was Toxic Audio.
Thank you, Toxic Audio. That was beautiful.
Aren't they
Thank
good?
you. Yeah.
That's fun.
Oh, yeah.
Happy birthday!
Thanks, Jimmy.
And thank you for letting us celebrate with you.
Well, are you kidding? I wouldn't celebrate with anyone else.
Thank you. You really started your year off with a bang. You did a bunch of amazing concerts at Westbury Music Fair. Was it fun for you?
It was wonderful because it's just, it's whenever you do a new show, you get to a certain point in your life and there's really not a new show. You put new numbers in, or you find numbers that you haven't done in a long time, or you frame things differently. But there are things that people want to hear. So you find a way to present them in a different way. It's like, as Charles Aznavour once told me, as you grow older, and Martha Graham said this about dance, Charles said it about song, you bring whatever you've learned in the years that you've got to the moment. Whether it's in a song or in a dance, you're going to do it a little bit differently. So you're never going to repeat yourself exactly the same way. And I find from show to show I never repeat myself because it depends on what I'm getting back from the audience.
Well, yeah, you have so many songs that you're known for, so that's how you keep it fresh for yourself, too, plus the audience.
Yes, and I always find songs that I want to sing. I'll hear something on the radio and I think, God, what a great lyric, or
Right.
what a good idea that is, or you'll say to me, or you or Billy or somebody, Billy Stritch or any of our friends that we have so many friends in common will say, why don't you sing that song? You haven't sung that in a long time.
It was so great to hear Showstoppers again.
Oh, thank you.
That was fun.
Thank you.
And I'm My Own Best Friend.
Yes.
Which just killed.
Isn't that arrangement glorious?
It's gorgeous.
Marvin
gorgeous.
Hamlish did that arrangement. And it's so wonderful.
No, well, your arrangements have always been the best on the road, don't you think? Don't you agree that your stuff is just top notch? The arrangements, the way the shows are put together. I don't know if you can agree with that or not, but
thank you.
You know, I go to see a lot of stuff, and there's you just can't beat the people that you've worked with and that have put your shows together through the years. Just, you know.
Well, you know, Fred Ebb is so responsible for that. But one of the great things that he did with me was he always let me musically. He trusted me musically to do what I felt as far as arrangements went, what I wanted to hear in the background, or what kind of drive, or what the orchestra was saying, as opposed to the lyric. Because sometimes it's a very simple song, but what's played in the orchestration is what you're thinking. And that's the acting part of it, for me. That's what acting in song is finding out where the feeling is coming from and what chords one would hear in one's head if one were feeling something. You know, I made a diminished chord instead of just a regular chord. There's something, I guess it's the way you color the different emotions that go through a song.
It's almost like another performer on stage that you're having the conversation with.
Yes,
it's
like your inner thoughts.
Like a Greek chorus that's helping you along with your thought.
Or it's what you're thinking, you know? Like if there's, like in I Am My Own Best Friend, there's a lyric that goes, and trusting to luck, that's only for fools. I play in a game where I make the rules, which sounds very self-confident. But the chords that Marvin and I discovered to put behind them, what I wanted to hear, is very disturbing. So you know she's having trouble there.
One thing I know, and I've always known, I am my own best friend. Baby's alive, but baby's alone, and baby's her own best friend. Many's the guy who told me he cares, but they were scratching my back 'cause I was scratching theirs. And trusting to luck, that's only for fools. I play in a game where I make the rules, and rule number one, from here to the end, is I am my own best friend.
Well, this radio show is you know, our listeners it's a theater-based radio show. So let's talk about influence a little bit. You've already mentioned so many people. We've been talking for 2 seconds.
I know. Well, I was so influenced as far as concert singing, or singing in your own show, by a man called Charles Aznavour, because he made each song a different movie. And as we were saying before, I've found that if I do a complete character study of each song, I know what color hair the woman has who's singing. I know what the decals on her refrigerator look like. I know what part of the country she lives in. I know, you know, it's a real character study. And those are the secrets that make each song specific. You don't have to tell anybody. They see it. They see that they're watching a whole person. In other words, well, you know what I mean. I'm not saying this as well as I could, but I'm trying to.
Well, you're such a child of the movies. My God. I mean, it's your background, it's your heritage. So it would only make sense that looking at each piece like a film.
Well, you look at it like a part. You look at it as a different role. who is the girl who is saying this? What is her experience that makes her say at this particular point in her life these words? And that I learned from Aznavour, because he always approached things as an actor. And that's how I never thought of myself as a singer. I always thought of myself as an actress who could sing, when she had to. And that's how I, look at it. And I've learned how to sing over the years by being in contact with wonderful people like Billy Stritch and various vocal teachers I've had, and by singing with you and Cortez, Alexander, and all of the different influences that I've had in New York City have been just great.
Well, you really get out and see so many different people.
Oh yeah, I like to see
great.
Everything.
Yeah.
I love to see everything.
Well, I think you've said you're one of those people who one foot is, you're straddling kind of one foot in the, you grew up with MGM people hanging around, and then another foot was very ensconced in pop music and rock and roll.
Absolutely.
And,
and the dance part of it,
Yeah.
So it is that I've got, one foot in each world, and I think that helps, because I love rock and roll. But sometimes you can take, for instance, like You Better Sit Down, Kids, which was Sonny and Cher. To put that with Cantor and Ebb's Married, and then have the transition of the marriage till it gets to a divorce musically, that was the kind of thing that I really enjoyed doing. Where I would go out with a photographer and say, because Peter Matz, who did the orchestration, said, "What do you mean you want a marriage to fall apart and have however many bars?" And I said, "Well, I'll think of a way to describe it better." And what I did was I hired a photographer, and we went out and we took pictures of images that I liked. For instance, before you wake one day, look around and say, "Somebody wonderful married me." And you see the good, the new house and the this, that, and the other. Then you see a picture of the bills on the table, and a picture of the kids screaming, and a picture just of a woman with her head buried in her hands with worry, and the picture of suitcases packed by a door. So I gave him those pictures to orchestrate into You Better Sit Down, Kids, and that's what he did.
For you wake one day, look around and say, somebody wonderful married me. Better sit down, kids, and I'll tell you why, kids. You might not understand, kids, but give it a try, kids. Now how should I put this? I've got something to say. Your daddy is staying, but I'm going away. Oh no, we're not angry. It's hard to say why. It's just your father and I, kids. We don't see eye to eye. I know you don't want this, well neither do we, but sometimes things happen that we can't foresee. Now don't look so sad, kids, and try to be calm. Just because I am leaving, I will still be your mom. just remember I love you. And though I'm not here, you just call if you need me, and I'll always be near. Say your prayers before you go to bed. Make sure you get yourself to school on time. I know you'll do the things your father asks. He's gonna need you more. You stay in line. Keep in mind your daddy's gonna need your help a lot more than he did before. No more fights over little things, 'cause I won't be there to stop you anymore. Anymore. Well, I have to go now. Come on and kiss me goodbye. My eyes are just red, kids. You know I'm too big to cry. You just remember I love you, and though I'm not here, you just call if you want me, and I'll always be near. Just remember I love you. Just remember I love you. Just remember I love you.
How are you so able to speak to musicians like that? You're
I'm
really
not.
good at that.
But I'm not. See, I don't know.
But who
from
thinks
a
of
B
taking-
natural to a B flat to a flat a third
No, but
to
that's
a flat
not the
and-
point.
You know, raise your, you know,
Raise this.
raise this, and flat this and sharp this. I don't know how to speak musically. A diminished, a 13th, a flatted fifth. I mean, I'm learning that as I go on.
But that's what I'm
I
saying.
see it
You
in
know how
terms
to
of
talk
pictures.
to them. Right.
In terms of emotions, and anybody who is musical and who has a sense of imagery, and most great arrangers do, know what you're talking about, and they can play that sadness or that sense of disturbance or that sense of joy or that build to glory or that whatever. If you give them the image that you're thinking of. That's how I've always worked with arrangers, and you know, it's Marvin Hamlish makes me laugh because I'll say, "No, Marvin, it's a setting sun on the beach," and he'll play something. I'll say, "No, the East Coast." He'll go, "Oh yeah, 33A, I got it."
Well, I remember you did a cut with on the Gently album with Herbie Hancock.
Yes.
And I remember you telling me that you created a whole story for him to come up with the vibe of this.
And he just said, roll the tape,
the
roll the
most
tape.
gorgeous cut.
Yeah. He just said, I hear you, roll the tape. And then I just watched him, and then I came in when it was right.
Yeah.
We just knew.
In the wee small hours of the morning, when the whole wide world is fast asleep, you lie awake and think about the man and never ever think of cutting sheep. When your lonely heart has learned its lesson, you be his if only he would call in the wee small hours of the morning. That's the time you miss him most, most of all.
So, your big hit on this fantastic TV show, Arrested Development.
Yes.
Truly hilarious.
Thank you.
You make me laugh. You make me laugh just on a daily basis anyway.
Thank you, Jimmy.
But where did this character come from?
Well, it came from Mitch Hurwitz, the producer and the writer of the show itself. I mean, you know, it was actually Ron Howard, who called me about the show. But when I finally met Mitch, and we were talking about the things that could be wrong with this particular woman and her character, we just went nuts and started thinking of things. And we laughed so hard at everything we thought of that he just, you know, would write them in and incorporate them, and you know, I mean, all of her phobias and her dizziness, and the fact that she's, you know, just so jealous of Jessica Walters, her nemesis.
Great. And they're both named Lucille.
Yes, Lucille 1 and Lucille 2.
That is just the weirdest idea. I love that so much. The first one I saw, you fell out. You have, what do you call it when you fall over?
Vertigo.
Vertigo.
Yes.
You just fall out of the camera and you hear this crash.
Yes.
And then the next thing you see is you with a big Band-Aid on your head.
Yes.
Lovely. And your hair kind of bent.
Well, I did that. I bent my hair and put the Band-Aid on and walked up to Mitch and said, "Is this okay?" And he screamed laughing. He said, "Yeah, that's fine."
It's so you. It's so your sense of humor.
I don't think, yeah, but you know me. See,
I know, but that's what people don't know.
Yeah, I know. I don't think they knew that I had a good sense of humor before this. So now it's just great fun taking the mickey out of myself and everything else.
So great. You know, somebody that loves you. We had a little call from a friend of yours.
Who?
Oh, listen.
Liza girl, it's Tony Danza. I just want to wish you a very, very happy birthday. In fact, I might want to sing my birthday ditty. And I know it's hard to sing to Liza Minnelli, but I figure what the heck, it's your birthday, so I might try it. This is Tony Danza's birthday ditty. Ready? It's somebody's birthday, I wonder who. It's somebody right in this room near you. So look all around you until you see who is smiling and laughing. My goodness, it's you. Happy birthday, Liza, from all of us to you. Happy birthday, Liza. We sing this song for you. We congratulate you and send good wishes too. Happy birthday, Liza. May all of your dreams come true. Liza girl, happy birthday.
That's fantastic.
Isn't that great?
Oh, Tony, thank you.
Is this like Larry King with people calling in? Don't you feel like you're on Larry King?
This is big time.
Oh, it's
big
very
time.
big.
Oh, Tony is so much fun.
I'm so glad he's on TV.
And he's so good. I mean, you know, he's one of the people. You know, he's one of the guys.
Mm-hmm.
He's the guy next door. He's the guy who's working on the street corner. He's the bus driver. You know, he has that kind of appeal to everybody. And,
but he also
New
tap
Yorkers
dances.
Oh, he's a great tap dancer.
So it's like he's riding a very odd, you know, fence too. Like,
oh yeah, and
like,
he's a wonderful actor.
Yeah, yeah. I really like him. I think
me too.
I'm so glad they were picked up for the second season.
Of course. Well, it's a huge show. That show. It's wonderful.
Looks great. Looks great.
And it's different than all the other shows.
Yes,
it's
it is.
Great.
Yes, it is, because he's really show business.
Yes.
He totally gets it.
Yeah.
Which brings me to show business.
Yes.
Growing up in Hollywood with all that unbelievable talent around you, did you know then that you were special? That you had talent?
Oh, are you nuts? Of course not. I mean, it was like, I'm telling you, at that point, Hollywood was a town where everybody did the same thing. So it was basically like growing up in a mining town if your parents were miners. The whole town did one thing. So everybody's parents did the same thing. Mm-hmm. So nobody thought they were special. We all just, it was normal to us because that's the only thing we knew. I didn't know it was unusual until I moved away when I was 15 and I came to New York. And I thought, oh my goodness, everybody thinks it's so glamorous there, and it's really a 9-to-5 town. Mm-hmm. You know, you were there for a long time. And you've worked there and lived there.
I mean, even more than who your parents were, as a talent, as a performer, did you have something in the back of your mind, like growing up, like, I know how to do this. This I can do.
No, I wanted to be a dancer, always. I loved watching Sid Charisse. And I was always hang out when I'd go after school to MGM and visit my dad, you know, until he went home, and then I'd ride home in the car with him. What I would do is I would go to the dance rehearsal halls and watch that. But then at 11, I decided I wanted to be an ice skater, so that all went away. And then I saw
how's that going for you?
Yeah, it's great. And then I saw my first Broadway show, which was Bye Bye Birdie, and that's when I knew what I wanted to do. I looked at all those kids up there. I thought, oh my God, how wonderful! That's what I want to do. I want to be part of that.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So Birdie was your first Broadway show.
Well, Broadway, I didn't. To me, LA was the most boring place in the world. You know, again, making movies is slow going. It really is slow going. Yeah. But the theater is, you know, it's so full of life. And I had no idea my father had done so much in the theater. I thought I was, you know, just doing a whole new thing. Right. I was coming to New York, and I was going to be in the theater as opposed to anybody else in my family. I found out my entire family was always in the theater, but I didn't know it at that point, you know. Yeah, I came here with I could have cared less about movies. I just wanted to be in show business in the theater.
Right. Yeah. Oh, I did not know that.
Oh, yeah.
Your parents brought music into your life. What in your dad's movies? Is there a specific song that takes you right back to that time? Sitting on the set, on the boom with him.
Yes, from Brigadoon. Go home, go home, go home with Bonnie Jean. Ba-boom. Go home, I'll go home with Bonnie Jean. Ba-ba. Go home, go home with Bonnie Jean. Because I used to learn all the dance numbers. You know, I used to watch and do that, and I got to push the playback button sometimes on the set. It'd say, okay, ready, roll 'em, speed, playback. And I push the button and you hear, go home, Bonnie Jean.
What a fantasy that must have been. And you got all the costumes. I know he had the beautiful costumes made for you.
Well, my father what he did was he fired my imagination. Mm-hmm. So he taught me that I could be anything I wanted to be, that there were no limits. And the way he did that was, like, for instance, at Christmas time with my mom, she would give me wonderful things like, you know, a little necklace or bath salts, soap, shoes, you know, nice things like that, toys. But my father, I could have 5 costumes a year of anything I wanted. So I would pick costumes from, like, some of his movies, or if I saw something, I'd say, I want to be a June bug, and he'd have Irene Sheriff design me these. Like Irene Sheriff, I got some of the costumes from The King and I was fitted at Western Costumes by Irene Sheriff. I mean, down to the tiniest detail. And I don't know, it sounds like he spoiled me terribly, but he had something in the back of his mind, too, which was to let me know that there were endless possibilities, that you never had to be stuck, that you never had to be anything anybody else wanted you to be, that your imagination, you could be anything you wanted to be, you know. And
that great
it was
song,
important that he taught me that.
You did it at Radio City, Seeing Things. It was such a great tribute to that.
Thank you, Jim.
Gorgeous.
Seeing things, there's a way of seeing things, a certain way of seeing things that makes the difference. Is that sun up there a circle spun of light and air, or just a practical everyday sun? You and I have a way of seeing things, a different way of seeing things. He'd say, paint your truth with my illusion. Please consider seeing things my way.
Well, we're in a room that I know was designed by a lady named Kay Thompson.
Yes.
Who I certainly grew to adore, and who was your godmother.
Yes.
How did her voice influence you?
Enormously. She was my mother's best friend. She was head of the music department at MGM in the early 40s, which is unheard of for a woman to be the head of anything in the early 40s, especially the entire music department at MGM, the vocals, all of those arrangements. She had her own radio show, and then she went on after being with MGM. She had an act called Kay Thompson and the Williams Brothers, which is something, of course, that we are going to recreate. And you're a big part of that, because I'm going to make an album called The Godmother and the Goddaughter. And it will be Liza Minnelli salutes Kay Thompson. And it will be about Kay Thompson and the Williams Brothers and all of the vocal arrangements that she did. And of course, you're going to be helping me with those arrangements. The singers will be yourself, Billy Stritch, Johnny Rogers, and of course, Michael Feinstein.
How, I mean, I couldn't be more excited about that.
Yeah, it's going to be really wacky because she was so out. Man, I mean, when you hear her arrangements, they're just still better than anybody else's.
They really are.
They're still better. They're still better than anybody's.
Nobody sounded like that then, did they?
They're so bloody exciting. They just lift you right out of your seat. You know?
She certainly had a big hand in jazzing up MGM, which kind of before that was kind of heavenly choir-y sounding in the background, right? Yeah.
There were two great arrangers, Nelson Riddle and Gordon Jenkins. And they completely give Kay Thompson credit for their arrangements. She heard things that most people didn't hear. She was a genius musically. And then, of course, she went on to write Eloise and so many other things. I mean, she was a Renaissance woman to the nth degree. And the times that we all had in this room together were wonderful, just wonderful. And you know how special she was. So to be able to pay tribute to her and to celebrate her is enormous, enormous for me. And I hope that all of your listeners look for that album, because we're going to perform it at the Lincoln Center Jazz Festival Halls.
That's so, you've already sung there.
Yes. You
got right in there.
I opened the big hall with a bunch of other wonderful people, and it was just great.
Is it a great room? I haven't even been
great.
in.
And it's really great. It's just for singing, man.
Right.
You just go in there, and it's musical. It's just for great, great music.
Of all the Kay Thompson tunes, is there something that's your fave?
Well, the one that sticks out in my mind, of course, is I Love a Violin. And why don't you play that for them now, Jim?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, here's Kay Thompson and the Williams Brothers with I Love a Violin.
Hit it.
I love a violin.
I love a violin.
Whenever I'm with you.
Whenever I'm with you.
'Cause a violin.
'Cause a violin
tells me what to do.
Tells me what to do.
For instance, when we dance.
For instance, when we dance.
In dreamy candle glow.
In dreamy candle glow.
The violin says yes.
The violin says yes.
So why should I say no?
So why should I say no?
And when the violin begins to sob and sigh,
begins to sob and sigh,
I look at you and I
look at you and I
have got to fall in love.
got to fall in love.
So honey, hold me close.
So honey, hold me close.
My heart is in a spin.
My heart is in a spin.
I know that I'm in love.
I know that I'm in love.
But am I in love?
But am I in love
With you.
with you?
Oh, the violin.
Oh, the violin. I love a violin. I get hilarious.
Cause my middle name
It's Stradivarius. Take away the brass.
don't care about such things. Who wants a holiday?
A holiday for strings, and when the strings of the orchestra play, into your arms I romantically glide. I understand what the violins say.
When they go pit, my heart goes pit.
So honey, hold me close. My heart is in a spin. I'm in love, but am I in love
With you.
with you?
Is it you?
Is it you? Is it you? I'm in love with.
Is it you?
Is it you?
I'm in
you? I'm in love with.
Is it you?
Is it you? I'm in love with. For the violin.
Is it you or the violin?
Violin.
And when the strings
play into your arms
I glide,
I understand what the violins say when they go pit.
my heart goes pit.
So honey, hold me close. My heart is in a spin. I'm in love, but am I in love
With you.
with you? Oh, the violin, oh, the violin, oh, the violin, oh, the violin.
Is it you or the
I heard one of the best quotes ever about you.
What?
And it's, of course, was said by the brilliant Fred Ebb. He said, "Asking me my opinion of Liza Minnelli is like asking a kid about Christmas."
Oh,
Is that the best thing?
when did he say that?
I
How
don't know. I
wonderful.
just read it and it just
Oh.
killed me. Killed me.
Oh my God, what a wonderful thing for you to tell me. Thank you so much.
Isn't that great?
Because I've always thought that Freddie invented me. You know, he taught me everything that I know and that I value, and not only in, on a stage, but in my personal life too. Taught me to pay back when I borrow a quarter from a chorus kid, pay him back. To just little things like to be polite, to treat people like you would like to be treated, even if that never happens. Do it anyway.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you had the lyrics of Fred Ebb and the gorgeous music of John Kander.
Oh, Johnny's music is the best.
I mean, from the beginning, you had... Now, this is interesting. You watch these American Idol TV shows, and these people are being concocted right in front of our eyes.
Yes.
They give them the material. When they get the album deal, somebody's dressing them, somebody's teaching them how to be on talk shows. You had some team around you.
I had Fred and John.
You had Fred and John, you had Halston, and you
Well,
had Bob
that was later
Fosse.
on.
I
That
know,
was later on. But I mean, accumulatively,
Talk about
I worked
packaging.
with the very best.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I know is that I don't want to hang around yes people. I don't learn anything. I am attracted to talent. I'm attracted to somebody I can learn something from. Yes people have always bored the hell out of me. I have no reason in this world to have yes people around me. I don't get off on it. I would much rather be with somebody who says, no, that doesn't work. Do it this way. It'll be better. And that is, I think, my best talent is finding people who could teach me.
Well, boy, did you
Who knew
find
more
them.
than I did.
Wow. I mean, plus those people were at the top of their game. Well, Fred and John were just starting out.
Yeah, but we all started together.
By
Fred
the time
and John,
Liza with a Z happened, everybody was at the top of their game.
Well, we had just finished Cabaret.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean,
But we didn't know Cabaret was going to be a hit yet.
oh, really? That
No.
wasn't out?
No.
Oh. So you were just kind of working on
Yeah.
with fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that. I'm learning so much. I need to listen to this radio show. I'm very excited. So Candor and Ebb, these incredible writers writing for you. Do you have a song, one of their songs that says it all?
One of the songs that I love is from a show that never got produced, that I recorded at the Winter Garden. It's called I'm One of the Smart Ones by Candor and Ebb.
Here it is.
I'm one of the smart ones. I got it all figured. You won't find me in one of them broken down flats, commanding an army of brats. Not me. You won't catch me bent over and ready to rub some grimy old ring in a tub. Not me. Oh, I got it figured. Soon or late, I'll beat you. Wait, wait, wait. And when you see me hobbling on the top of the town, my emeralds weighing me down, you'll cry, there goes baby, ain't she fine?
Well, now, I had the great thrill of hanging out with you in Los Angeles a lot.
I'll say.
A lot. And every Saturday night, we threw a party.
Yes.
And you taught me everything I know about throwing parties,
Oh,
believe
honey,
me. Liz.
my house was jumping. Each Saturday night, we did good, didn't we, Jimmy?
So fun. Liza used
They
to say to
became
me,
historical, those parties.
that's for sure.
Yeah.
And we got the pictures to prove it.
Yeah.
Liza would say to me,
I
I'm
want some of those
speaking to you
pictures.
now.
Speaking of those pictures, Jimmy,
You don't
I
have
need
those?
some. No.
Oh, they're yours.
Okay.
Liza would say, who do you want to meet? And we'd make a list of people. I'm talking now to Brian, my producer. We'd make a list of people that I wanted to meet. And Liza would call them, and they would come.
Well, the parties became famous because it was the kind of party that they used to have in Hollywood that I used to hear about.
Mm-hmm.
Where people got together and they would entertain each other and sing and be around the piano. And that wasn't happening at that point in Hollywood. And so we kind of brought that back. I brought it back. And it worked. Everybody just
Did it
wanted to
ever?
come.
That's
Do you remember we had to get parking lot attendants? Do you
We
remember
had to
that?
get security.
Security we finally needed.
I remember
Security.
Security. The faces that were walking through that door. You know, I'm fainting, of course, because I love that. But it was shocking. Now, speaking of Hollywood, we got a call from one of your old LA pals.
Liza, Liza, skies are blue. It's Carol Burnett singing Happy Birthday to you.
Jimmy!
Isn't that funny?
Oh my God! Oh, Carol, thank you so much. Thank you, Jimmy.
Isn't that fun?
Well, you know, I
You guys
did
go
her
back.
show,
Way
yes.
back, yeah.
I did her show and I had the most wonderful time with her. Because talk about a generous, talented, easy, wonderful person to work with. That was Carol. You know, I mean, when I worked with her, I had the best times.
Oh, those are
Really
such
great
great
times.
tapes and great shows. And you were doing such interesting material on television then. What was the material, the song you did? It wasn't a hit. It was just like interesting cabaret material almost.
Oh, yeah.
People can't do that anymore.
She once had a man who bet she was to marry her love wet, but came the wedding
high. Butterfly make high.
It's unheard of that somebody doesn't have a record to bring people in.
Right.
But I never did. You know, I didn't. Of course, I had finally when I did Cabaret, but I'd been working a long time before I did Cabaret.
Yeah. You were a Broadway star as a kid. I mean, as a young woman. But right. I mean, you.
Well, I was the youngest musical star to ever win a Tony.
Yeah.
That.
Wow.
I don't know. It's a wacky career, but I've had such a good time. I'm so grateful for it all. You know,
it is an interesting career, isn't it? It's a weird, it's an odd, shocking career, kind of, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've created so many great moments on stage. What are your favorite memories as an audience member?
Oh my God, I've had so many. Oh. I've had so many in the audience.
That's what I mean.
You know, I remember seeing Fiddler on the Roof first time when it was Zero Mostel. I was in it. It was phenomenal. Just gorgeous.
Well, that was very groundbreaking, wasn't it? Yeah.
I remember in London the first time I saw West Side Story. And in London I saw Oliver the first time, that brilliant set on the turntable, and oh my God, it was incredible. And just down through the years, I'm a huge theater goer, and I just love that you can in New York City walk out the door and go to the theater.
I remember sitting in the theater with you. We went to see Hello, Dolly.
Yes.
And the overture started, and I was gone. It's the most astonishing. Just tears, weeping.
Yes.
And I was insanely embarrassed. And I looked over at you, and you had the tears streaming down your face too.
Absolutely.
Liza, dear Liza, I want to wish you a happy birthday. It means a lot to me because I remember holding you on my lap on New Year's Eve, and it must have been, I don't know what date, but it was the last year of Hello, Dolly on Broadway, and I had you and your little brother, and you were on my shoulder, and you wanted to stay awake, and your mother was singing, and you wanted to stay awake until the new year came in, and you couldn't do it, and you fell asleep, and Liza, I just never stopped loving you. But you, there's a reason. You're the most talented, the most, you're dancing, you move like nobody else moves in musical comedy. You sing like nobody else sings, and you know the character, and you've got the energy for being the great star you are. I just think the world and all of you, and I want you to know that, and I want you to have the happiest birthday, and everybody that I know hopes you always have happy birthdays.
Well, Jim, you are blowing my mind.
Isn't
this is amazing.
Oh, I
Jim,
just
you're
love
surprising
her.
me so much.
You're hard to surprise.
I'm truly startled and delighted.
So, Liza Minnelli, who do you listen to now? When you have, whose CDs do you buy?
Well, at the moment, I'm entranced with Maroon 5.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, you've surprised me.
What?
Really? I didn't know.
Oh, I'm crazy about Maroon 5. And I also like Los Lonely Boys. Oh, I like them all. I mean, you know, I think right now that there's some great people. There's some really marvelous people. I've got all their records back there.
I know that.
Records. I've got all their CDs back there. Their records. What are they? You know, please don't play that, Jim. Please.
I have their 8 tracks in the other room.
Yes.
On my gramophone.
Millimeters. Yeah. No, I buy and listen to everything new, and also, you know, I listen to the radio a lot. So.
I always think it's interesting when I'm with you and some, you know, rock and roll guy comes up just almost on his knees with tears in his eyes. They all love you too. I remember when you did the Freddie Mercury concert.
Yes.
You were meeting all those rock and roll singers with like tattoos,
White
Snake with tattoos on their tongue and things, and they're like, "Oh my God, it's Liza Minnelli! Liza with a Z changed my life."
Yes.
Like, not what you think.
Funny, isn't it funny?
I've taken my vows, and my curtain calls. You brought me fame and fortune and everything that goes with it, and we thank you all. But it's been no bed of roses, no pleasure cruise. I consider it a challenge for the whole human race, and we ain't gonna lose. We are the champions, my friend, and we'll keep on fighting to the end. We are the champions. We are the champions. No time for losing, 'cause we are the champions. We are the champions, my friend. We are the champions.
I know your fans mean a whole lot to you.
Well, I think if somebody's nice enough to spend the time and the money on you and to really appreciate your talent, then you owe them a thanks.
Mm-hmm.
You don't take anything for granted. I don't think you can. I think the minute you start taking things for granted, you lose the most important thing you can have in your personal experience, and that's gratitude. If you're grateful, it's very hard to be unhappy. Very hard. And I'm extremely grateful for my fans. I'm grateful for the music that's been written for me. I'm grateful that we're sitting here doing your radio show. I mean, this is wonderful, Jim. I mean, think, how many years ago did we meet? And I've watched you blossom into something absolutely spectacular and become a real influence and have a real voice in what's said in New York about the musical theater now. And I'm so proud of you. I just thought I would tell you that, as long as we're talking about people that I admire and that I love. You're just wonderful.
Thanks.
You really are. And Cast Party is tremendous. And besides doing my album, you're also in a film that I'm writing, and that hopefully people will be seeing. That's being produced by Craig Zadan and Neil Marin. And at the moment, it's called Katie's Blues. That's the working title.
Can you talk about it? Can you tell us what it's about? I know.
No. And you can't either.
Do you get tired of being a celebrity?
That's a weird question, because it's on so many levels. Celebrity means a different thing.
Mm-hmm.
I still think that I would pay to have the job I have, to get up on stage and sing songs. I would pay somebody else to do that. I think the cost is in the word celebrity. What does that mean? Does that mean that you are fair game? Yeah. People can say anything they want to about you. You know, and here in America, we don't have any laws or anything. You know, in Europe, you can sue, and but here, you just open game. So I think the price you pay sometimes is celebrity. The actual work is what's great, but the celebrity can be cruel. You know, so I literally don't pay much attention to it. I don't. And you know I don't.
Liza Minnelli, it's Bruce Valanche calling you on your birthday. It's just so exciting. I'll never forget seeing you in Vegas, coming out on that stage covered in diamonds, singing Goldfinger. No, wait a minute, that was Shirley Bassey. You were the girl with the cowbells doing the cow, but no, that was Ella Mae Morse. I remember remember dancing on a piano with maracas, singing "I Go to Rio." No, that was Peter. Oh my God, that Liza Minnelli. Old age plays tricks. It's really just the saddest thing. Well, happy birthday, doll. Just keep on trucking. I love you madly.
That's fantastic.
Bruce Valand.
He is so funny. I've had so many funny times sitting with him at those award shows that he would write for, and just listening to his wisecracks about people.
Must be the best part.
It was the best part. Of course, when I was up on stage, I knew what he must be saying about me too, but I didn't care. It was so funny. It was all right.
Okay, so if we were going to end the show, and we are, with a song that you think explains how you see things, what would that song be?
The song would be Yes by Cantor and M.
What's a little bit of that lyric?
Yes, say yes. Life keeps happening every day, say yes. When opportunity comes your way, you can't start wondering what to say. You'll never win if you never play. Say yes. There's mink and marigold right outside, and long white Cadillacs you can ride. Nothing's gained if there's nothing tried. Say yes. I once sang that in a prison. I did. I just remembered. And I was thinking, oh my God, what am I doing with somewhere? Don't say why, say why not. What lies beyond what is not. So what? Say yes.
Happy birthday, Liza Minnelli.
Oh, Jim, thank you.
Thanks for doing this.
I'm so glad that I'm with you on my birthday, and thank you for all of this attention, and thank you for talking to all these wonderful people. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attention, and thank you for all of the years that you've allowed me to do what I love to do. Thanks, everyone.
Happy birthday to you, Liza. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Liza. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday.